So just to introduce myself, I'm David Beeton. I'm Director of E-cosse. For those of you that have never been to an E-cosse forum before, E-cosse is Scotland's national partnership to advance electric vehicles. This is our 16th forum. 2017 is also the 5th birthday of E-cosse, so we've been going for a while. Couldn't have done what we've done over the last few years without your support, so thank you for the continued support of these events and the wider work that we've been progressing over the last few years. In terms of housekeeping, just to let you know that there are no fire drills planned. If an alarm does go off, if you could exit via the spiral staircase down the bottom. If any of you would like to check out the exhibition later today, we have free sticker passes, so you can go and learn more about the discovery. I think you can also go on the boat if you want to brave the weather. So yeah, I'd recommend it if you haven't done it before. And welcome to Dundee. I think not only is this a fantastic city, but it's a fantastic venue. It's perhaps the only venue that I've ever been to where the view has been improved by building a building outside the window that's actually blocked the view of the river. So yeah, I think it's a pretty unique space. So the agenda that we have today is largely focused on the challenge of deploying infrastructure, with a specific focus on deploying infrastructure at home and on street. We'll hear from a variety of people from both the public and private sector that have been involved in that process. We'll also have the opportunity to hear more about what's happening in Dundee in particular. It would be remiss of us not to give you an insight into some of the wonderful things that are happening in the city. And with that in mind, I'd first like to welcome Councillor Lynne to the stage to give an official welcome from Dundee.
Good afternoon, EV friends. My name is Lynne Short, and in my role as convener of Dundee City Council's City Development Committee, I am one of the people charged with the responsibility of helping to make our dream of an EV city a reality. Unfortunately, I did ask for a rider and it hasn't appeared. Phil Oakey and Georgie Moroda, those of us of a certain age will remember Forever in Electric Dreams, but next time. I don't need to tell you that to have an inspiration of EVs brings with it a number of serious challenges. And while there's no magic wand, bullet, or other device that you can use to usher in or advance the use of EVs on your patch, I hope that by sharing some of our experiences, your journey might be made a little bit smoother. As a background, I'd like to briefly let you in on where we are before taking a little bit about how we got to this point. Dundee City Council now has the largest fleet of electric vehicles of any local authority in the UK, 87 so far and counting. We are a past winner of Green Fleet magazine's Public Sector Fleet of the Year and Low Carbon Vehicle Operator of the Year. The city around you has one of the most extensive charging infrastructures in the UK and continues to have the most utilised rapid charging infrastructure in the country, with the city's 4 50-kilowatt units charging 30 charges per day. It's no coincidence that earlier this year, Tesla chose Doubletree Hilton in Dundee to install its own strategic charging hub with space for 8 of its vehicles. Dundee Council owns 118 charging points, providing publicly available charging across the city. This has all been achieved by continued support from Transport Scotland, who have provided policy, funding and guidance throughout the last 6 years. The delivery of this charging infrastructure involved the Dundee Partnership Group, which has seen NHS Tayside, Dundee University, Dundee Nanged College and the Council all work together to achieve a city and regional charging network. In 2016, Dundee successfully gained Go Ultra Low funding from the UK Government, which enabled us to install regional charging infrastructures into neighbourhood authorities, which is nearing completing as we speak. This funding is also allowing the Council to build 3 EV charging hubs across the city. The hubs will provide multi-charging units with solar canopies and battery storage renewable solutions. Among the initiatives we've taken to support this drive towards a cleaner, greener city and fleet is to put council mechanics on dedicated EV training courses to gain recognition and qualifications in the repair and maintenance of EVs. That, of course, not only helps to upskill our workforce and young people for the future, but also allows for continued expansion of the Council's electric fleet. Since we added our first electric vehicles in 2012, our vehicle fleet supports every department in the council and have travelled over 1.1 million miles. Those journeys saved around 255 tonnes of CO2. As you can imagine, the figures for the years ahead are looking even better. Those last facts are crucial to me as a councillor of this great city and should be focus of all councillors and elected members across the country, with an estimated 3,500 premature deaths occurring every year due to the country's poor air quality. But these things have not happened by themselves, nor have they emerged from a vacuum. In the first instance, it required vision, but in order to make that a reality, there followed years of dogged determination and hard work by people in the council and in a variety of private and third sector partners to make it happen. I mention the private sector and can't move on without talking about Dundee's visionary taxi entrepreneur. David Young. David passed away a few weeks ago after a long illness, but put his taxi company's introduction of 30 Nissan Leafs and the first privately run EV charging hub in the UK was one of the main catalysts in the advancement of the city's EV taxi fleet, which now stands at 10%. I'm sorry. He's a great loss to the city and to the community, so excuse me. So, thanks to people like Davy and the rest, we have managed what we've managed. We do what we need to, and when we are particularly passionate about something, and our passions and our visions are the parts of what we need to do. And there is a secret, and this is the secret. You just have to do it. Yes, there are financial and physical barriers. Yes, there are people in your city or your council who should say, no, we shouldn't. Yes, there will be members of your communities who will raise all sorts of objections. There will be reluctance to change and problems shaking complacent people from behind the wheel of their fossil-fueled burning pollutant. But believe me when I tell you, we had all that in Dundee and more. All of these things can be overcome. We did it. We do it quietly. We did it with determination and a clear and concise vision. We did it by prioritising EVs, charging points, and by leading by example. We made it easy for EV owners to charge their vehicles by putting chargers at strategic locations around the city, by charging them less money to park, by seizing new technologies and methodologies, and by working with like-minded individuals, companies, and advocates in our city to make it happen. One of my first actions as the new convener of City Development was to ask the EV team, what can I do to help? The answer was very clear and concise: high-level support. Without my backing, all I have just said could not be achieved. That's not my words, but the guys tasked with delivering the EVs in the city. Large-scale EV use can work. It does work. If anybody doubts it, send them to Dundee and ask for Lynne. Thank you.